want to thank you for coming back to the 831 podcast. This week, we're going through my challenge to you of personal development, personal growth. We've covered personal discipline and personal accountability. Today, we're going to talk about personal responsibility. If you do not have personal responsibility, you are teaching yourself entitlement. Yes, that's what you're doing. If you don't teach your children, that's why they act and expect entitlement. Dad expected you to do everything better than he could. He didn't want you to just do it. He wanted you to do it better than he could. That was the hunter way of doing things. He looked at you and thought that if you can't do it as good as I can, you aren't putting enough effort into it. And he expected it all the time. He used to say, responsibility is two words, response, which invokes action, and ability, which means you can do what is asked. I'm told that he used to speak them to us this way when we were even in a high chair. When faced with responsibility, we were expected to be able to step forward, step up, and step in with the best of our ability. Never step down, never step back, step out, choosing a compromised, convenient solution. I'm Jungle Jim Hunter, and you're listening to 831 Living Your Best Life podcast, and I hope today I will inspire you and empower you to live your best life. So download it from your favorite podcast provider, subscribe, and click on like, and let us know how we can help you. Well, let me try and help you with personal responsibility today. Dad taught age and stage appropriate teaching. Yes, he never overwhelmed you, but he always expected you to raise the bar. Being comfortable was never an option. The Olympic motto, which I learned later, Sidious Altius Fortius, swifter, higher, stronger, fits my growth. These open-ended adjectives meaning you raise the bar. You can do it better, faster, and improve the outcome. Grow from within and go right past everybody else. In essence, he said, go right past me. Every choice you make, you agree to, and you must accept the consequences of those choices. Your evaluation process had to be that this is a good choice, or is it a better choice, or is there a best choice? Then you raised the bar, and when he would see the results, he would ask you, was it good, better, or best? If your choice is for you, it's not high enough. It must be better for others. It was a constant teeter-totter walk. Now, if you don't know what a teeter-totter is, well, look it up. But a teeter-totter is one where you have a plank over top a fulcrum, and one person gets on one end and one on the other end, and you go back and forth. But the way he described it was, you get on the teeter-totter and run up to the middle and balance it, and then down the other side. Think about it. You walk up, learning, balancing, choosing, each step carefully. Then, when you get to the top, you balance it. But when you go down the other side, you want to get off as quick as possible, so you run down. But see, you just learned something. You raised the bar, and you start at a higher level all over again. And so, failure was never final with my dad. It was always better, because now you know what not to do. Every human interaction is emotional, and so he used this age and stage appropriate. Age meant this: it is accurate, gentle, and essential for all parties. If you do not have the space to grow, because you are already full of perfection, you will not have the space to grow the way you have to know how to show that you have grown. If you were perfect, you would have nothing to work on, nothing to conquer, nothing to try, nothing to attempt. You would have learned nothing about how to be better. You would have nothing to teach anyone else, including yourself, children, and others. A child tested at home all the time finds it almost impossible to perform when tested in the arena, and eventually the arena of life. So let me try and put this into a perspective that you can understand how it works. This is going to be action today. You're going to participate with me. So I have a story for every day growing up. And I could tell so many, but I want to take you through this one, which is the way that I teach it to my children and the way I teach it to the people that I work with. And it's the best way it can be communicated so you to understand what growth really is and how you take personal responsibility. Look at your hands. Put them face down in front of you. Your dominant hand is you. So it might be your left hand, your right hand, and your growth. And the other hand is your world. So one hand represents you, the other your world. And that dominant hand, you, starts with your thumb, is your foundation. Who are you? Then the first finger is your focus. It's like the way I was taught about the alphabet. When you come to MNOPQRST, well, opportunity, problems, questions result in what? Read, study, and think. And you had to think with my dad in 8 dimensions, and that's another whole subject we'll talk about another time. And then your middle finger is fitness. What kind of a gatekeeper are you? Are you taking care of your health? Are you making sure that what goes in through your mouth and your nose, in your ears and in your eyes, is it healthy? Is it good for you? Then your fourth finger is finesse. Raise your skill to an art form. Your finesse, your finest ability. Have you raised it to an art form? And finally, your little finger is your faculties, the toolbox that you have. And how sharp are the tools that are in it that you use? So that's your dominant hand. Now, your other hand is your world. And you start with the thumb, and your thumb is the family. Post-Second World War, my dad hired German people because they weren't liked. But Dad wanted us to learn that everyone was acceptable, everyone was right, everyone was good. There was no prejudice. And he hired these people and gave them jobs to help them. Your first finger is firm, the business of the business you're in. What are you best at? What job can you do the best? When you grow up, what are you really going to be able to do the best of your ability? Your middle finger was finances. Yes, you had to manage your money so it doesn't manage you. And then your fourth finger is friends. You need people that help you grow, and you only need people that help you grow. And finally, your little finger is your forerunner. Raise the bar in every group. In other words, be the leader. You must be the leader in every group you're in, and if you're not prepared to do that, then you're not prepared to be in that group. Now, what's the application? Look at your hands and fold them together on your lap. And you put them together naturally, and they intersect. Now, let me match them up for you so you understand how this works. Notice how the two thumbs intersect with each other. Family and foundation. You see, you are who you are because of the family that you grew up in, the family around you. And I could go through all 10 of them, but I will let it go for today that my dad used to teach us that when you have your hands folded like this, you have a grip on life. You can see the strength of that grip. I've always had words that I made up, and GRIP is great rest in peace. You can probably imagine those words in the word grip. But you put your hands together naturally, one way, with one hand on top of the other. We all do it that way. So wherever you are right now, if you can, I want you to change. Yes, I'm going to prove to you how difficult change is. Take your hands apart and put them together the other way and put the other hand on top. Wow, does that ever feel different? Notice, change does not feel natural. You have to grow into it. Okay, put your hands back the other way. Oh, that's better. Now you feel better. My quote for the day: responsibility does not start at the top of the ladder. It starts at the rung you are on. Are you working on you where you are? Are you growing where you are? Are you learning to have personal responsibility where you are right now? I'm Jungle Jim Hunter, and you've been listening to 831 Living Your Best Life podcast. I hope you were inspired and empowered today. And next podcast, we'll talk about personal empowerment. Thanks for listening.